Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to All-Star 15 TV. It's playoff time for the Sim500 TranService Truck Series, and we are live from Talladega Superspeedway. Before we get into all the festivities here at the track, let's bring in the boys broadcasting this wonderful race that we're going to have tonight, starting with Mr. Crew Chief himself, Gary Wells.
I wasn't sure where you were going to go with that because you said crew chief, so I didn't know if this was going to be a mic joke. But anyways, nonetheless, we're here at Talladega.
Darn.
First round of the playoffs, man. I'm excited for this. Round of 18. Here in a couple races, we're going to eliminate that down to 10. So, should be a fun one here tonight. I'm really excited for this. So, should be a good one. How about it, Mike?
Oh, guys, thanks for the lead-in right there. That's looking forward to it as well. The playoff time, it's an exciting time. Talladega Superspeedway can't get anything better than that to kick off the playoffs. So I'm excited for it tonight there, boys.
Yeah, I'm excited for this too tonight. But guys, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the tail of the tape, and with that, let's go to Gary.
Yeah, so very, very clean races that we've had here at Talladega. You're going to at least see 40 lead changes here tonight. That's what I expect. That's what we average here the last 3 races that we've been here. There's one caution-free race. That was actually last season's race when Jimmy Coleman won the race, led 3 laps starting from that 28th position. Brian Macklin led the most laps at 21, and Tyler Dalton won the pole. You could start from anywhere in this field. We have 2 out of the last 3 winners started outside the top 25. The guy that has led the most laps has only won this race once. That was Daniel Falkingham back in 2021. So Talladega, what this tells me, we're going to see a lot of action, a lot of lead changes that are only recorded at the start-finish line, as we're seeing another wreck here. And it's unpredictable. And I think that's what makes this race so fun.
Yeah, and speaking of how unpredictable it is, we've seen a lot of good racing at these super speedways with the Sim500, Daytona earlier on in the season, which brings me to having to get down on pit road. Mike, explain to how difficult it's going to be, especially in a pack of cars, to get down to pit road speed from the racetrack.
Well, AJ, you really want to start picking your way down to pit road, maybe a lap or 2 before you're going to pit if you're running up on the high line or the middle line because you want to get yourself to the bottom. But once you get to the bottom and get off turn 4, you really want to start braking like as soon as you probably hit the dash to the yellow line, like a little bit toward the end of pit road, the entrance to pit road, because if you don't get down to pit road speed limit, I mean, you're going to be sliding the tires. You might be even braking sideways, spinning through the pit road or spinning through the grass. So it's just really, you really want to time it. And it's a lot of these guys like to time their pit road entries like in practice to get a feel of how far deep you can go before you really have to brake.
Yeah, and as you guys are seeing it on the racetrack right now, qualifying has started. Qualifying here at these super speedways, it really doesn't matter where you start. It's only about where you finish. And with that, you're going to see people take that extreme outside line for their whole first lap, and then their second lap, they're going to ride it all the way on that wonderful yellow line, which means it's out of bounds. Cannot make passes underneath that line. But let's talk about those yellow numbers and yellow banners that you're going to see on the ticker to your left, and those are your point standings, basically. Here they are right there. Those are all your playoff drivers for the round of 18 TranService Truck Series. And there's 18 of them, and the only one that's looking happy right now is Brian Macklin. He's plus 12 over the cut line, and with his season that he has had, and Gary, let me throw this to you. Plus 12, it's not a lot, but just being over the cut line, how would that make you feel, and where do you think, Macklin's headspace is right now?
Well, he's got a 12-point cushion, which is always nice. I mean, anytime that you have a lead and have an advantage, I don't care if it's 1 point or 12 points or 50 points or 100 points. Points matter, especially when you're coming into the first playoff race as Talladega. I mean, he's really going to have to. He can let loose a little bit more tonight, I think, more than normal. So we could definitely see him not play it as safe. He could definitely go out and try to risk it a little more, but it's a fine line because it's Talladega. Do you want to try and go out and get all the points and the wins and be aggressive and with no care in the world, or do you want to try and save your truck for the end? I think you're going to have to run a happy medium somewhere in between.
Yeah, you're going to want to run that happy medium, and with that, qualifying's getting underway. But Mike, talk about the qualifying around these super speedways. Where would you want to start and everything?
Well, personally, where I like to start, especially on the warm-up lap and the first lap, you really want to run the high line to get as much momentum in these trucks as possible. So your second lap is your money lap, which you're going to be fastest on. And what I like to do is run all the way on the bottom that second lap.
Yeah, and basically right now we're looking at everything. Tyler Dalton, Tommy Ryan, and Jeff Ryan, your top three. As I'm trying to maneuver through some issues with our overlay, so bear with us here, trying to get everything squared up. There's Joey Gattina on the racetrack.
And I believe Gattina here is on lap number 1. Yep, so he's getting ready to complete his first lap going through turns 3 and 4 here. And then number 14, TranService Sim500 Ford F-150 going through the tri-oval. Coming to take the white flag. He took an interesting line that first lap, basically being bottom to middle. We'll kind of have to see what he does.
Oh, looks like he's only going to run one lap there, Gary.
He's going to do the one and done. And, we've seen it a lot more common here in these trucks where they only do one lap and then call it quits afterwards. So not fully surprising.
No, not at all. Well, qualifying is over and done with. For everybody watching at home, thanks for tuning in to All-Star 15 TV. AJ Capola, Gary Wells, and Mike Campiggio in the broadcast booth. Go check out all our sponsors in the description. If you want to stop at our Streamlabs store and get yourself some breast cancer awareness merch, do that. All proceeds do go to the Susan G. Komen Fund for breast cancer research. Guys, 30 seconds away from gridding. Let's go over our picks for the evening, starting with Mike Campiggio.
Well, guys, I'm going to go with a non-playoff driver to kind of upset the field tonight. I'm going to go with the Daytona kickoff the season winner. Glenn Campbell is my pick tonight.
And I'm going to take the very, very low-hanging fruit, a driver that is very, very good at all these super speedways, and won at Daytona earlier in the season. Not the opening race, but halfway through the season, it's Joey Gattina in that number 14. Look for him at the front and possibly to win this race. Gary?
Yeah, last but not least, we'll go with Hayes Booth. Why not? Newcomer here to this league, at least for this season. I know Niedermeyer is probably shouting from the rooftops that I need to pick Brian Wortman tonight, but I'm not doing that. I don't want to jinx him. But Hayes is pretty good at these type of racetracks, these drafting tracks. Very important to get around here at Daytona and Talladega. So definitely one of those things we'll have to watch for. And that's my guy tonight. I'm watching out for the 5, and you guys are watching out for the other guys. So there we go.
All right, let's run through our starting lineup for the TranService Truck Series Race 1 of the round of 18 from Talladega Superspeedway. On pole, the number 19 Chevy Silverado of Tyler Dalton. Outside of that front row, the 99 Chevy of Tommy Ryan. Row number 2, you have Jeff Ryan and Glenn Campbell. Row 3, you have Wesley Donaldson and Scott Stenzel. Row number 4, you have Bobby Wetzel and Hayes Booth. And row number 5, you have Brian Macklin and Joe Hudson. Gary, take us to 20.
In row 6, we have got Chad Coleman and Nelson Rivera. Row 7, EJ O'Rourke and Joey Gatina. Row 8, we have, Sean Macklin and Kevin Stone. Row 9 is going to be Robert Frieri and Stoney Benfield. And rounding out row number 10 is going to be Doug Sigmund and Steve Ritter. Mike, take us home.
In row 11, you're going to have Seth Foudy and J. Randall Watkins. In row 12, you're going to have Pedro Mojica and Richard Beasley. In row 13, you're going to have Jason Karlovich and Scott Simley. In row 14, you're going to have Mike Kelly and Hamish Gallagher. In row 15, you're going to have John Schweikart and Kevin England. And to round out the field tonight on the last row is Brian Wertman and Gerald Livingston.
All right, let's get to it,
trucks.
everybody. I was going to say that, Gary, but cool. 32 trucks, going to have a great race here at Talladega. Guys, seeing this whole race from the broadcast booth, you know, I'm really excited. Got the binoculars to see that backstretch, but man, the drafting is going to be insane. We got some cool cameras for everybody. We got the Crank It Up cameras. We got the drone camera here tonight. Got, I think, three of them, yes. Got one from our cameraman down in the, I'd call it the pit of all the fans in that front stretch grandstand. But guys, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be insane. Gary, we're going to see a lot of drafting.
We're definitely going to see a lot of drafting. I just want to point out one more thing before we go green. Fuel windows anywhere from 30 to 33, maybe 35 laps. So I think we're really in for a treat here tonight. It's going to be 2 stops to get you home tonight. So, and they get 3 sets of tires in the pits, so we do have 2 green-white checkers. Hopefully we don't have to use any of them, and these guys can put on a clean race, as this pace truck here is getting ready to dive on off here.
Yeah, he's about to go duck for cover while we're about to send 32 trucks roaring down towards turn 1 through the tri-oval, waiting for Barney the Flagman to hit.
Green flag.
And
green
there
flag.
it is, green flag, and we are a go for the Sim500 TranService Truck Series playoffs. Already that outside line is linking up. Tyler Dalton basically all by himself. The closest one to him is the number 3 of Jeff Ryan. And here comes the 91 as well of Wesley Donaldson. As they come off the backstretch for the first time, that outside lane really put together.
Yeah, it's really going to be key for organization of these lines to work together to get that big momentum swing. Really not surprising to see this top lane working really well. You got some really good pushers there with Glenn Campbell, who won our season opener. You've also got the 42 here. You've got the 5, the 51. These guys really know how to push this group right here, as we see Glenn Campbell to the point here to get a push from that 19 truck.
This is
the
going
line
to
to
be
complete lap number 1, Glenn Campbell.
Glenn Campbell. Wow, that was really close because it looked like Tommy Ryan almost immediately after crossing that line got to the point there. It looks like we have a little bit of an issue with the 5 of Booth, you know, blinking out just a tad there.
It's early.
I know it's early. I remember watching a race, God only knows how long ago, where only on restarts, where everybody was bunched together, somebody would have an issue. But look at that, the 41 already of EJ O'Rourke looking to that outside, and looks like he lost a position or two. Gets back in line behind Joey Gatina. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bunch of drivers hit that parachute out early.
Yeah, just, you know, as long as the pack will allow you, you want to be up front if you are up front. But if it gets wild, crazy, and aggressive, don't be surprised if we see some playoff drivers try to take a duck out of the pack and just hang out a little bit.
It looks like we got a few trucks up here starting to make this third line work. Wesley Donaldson's up there, EJ O'Rourke's up there. So these two
you're
are...
going to need about 3 or 4 drivers, so they're kind of right there in that mix there, Mike, of it about to really pay off.
Oh, wow.
A little bit of action there. Oh, still sideways.
Oh, here we go. We're wrecking second. Turn 3.
27's around, into the fence, hard into the fence.
Oh, he
caution.
There's no yellow yet. No yellow. They're still green.
I was surprised that went green.
Well,
Ryan Wortman might have gotten a piece of that.
Here we go, guys. Gonna take a look.
Steve Ritter.
It all kind of started up here at the front.
Waiting to see it. Waiting to see it. 27. Let's see the 27. Maybe the 127?
Probably the 127.
No, that's up in front of him.
Oh, no, it's actually the 27. But you saw that all happen.
Oh,
wow.
Steve Ritter. Steve Ritter just had nowhere to go when he got clipped.
And this has basically completely separated the field.
Yeah. Wrecks like these are always so frustrating that you're in because, you know, you want to go, but you just, you know, sometimes you just can't go anywhere.
Well, you had a lot of drivers, and especially that's in that second and third pack now, were complaining about the no yellow.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
you're
definitely going to have those complaints.
Look who's on the point.
Joey Katina.
Making his way towards the front. Unfortunately, it was due to others' misfortune, but I have Joey Katina. Gary has Hayes Booth, and we are moving towards that front there. But look on that outside. Wetzel, really strong with Stenzel, too.
Yeah, really, really strong group of trucks right there getting together, making it happen.
Wow. That's a big gap between drivers. The first 15 are in this front group. Then you got to go back to Pedro Mojica, Chad Coleman, Sean Macklin, and Robert Fieri, all within that little group right there. But then 6.5 seconds back from them, you have basically everybody that is not on pit road due to that wreck. So you got 20th through 30th here. Beasley, Macklin, Faudy, Sigmund, Swinehart. You know, a good 4 playoff drivers in this pack right now.
Yeah, and that's really, you know, that's the difference right now so far. I mean, we've seen this race go caution free before, so but yeah, definitely separating the field of playoff drivers. It's going to be interesting how this race unfolds if these guys can get grouped back together, which I think they can. We've seen a lot of crazy things with the draft and how it works around this place to, you know, where they can all group back up together. And if this pack keeps racing side by side like it is, this main pack, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see this single file pack start to reel them in a little bit.
Yeah, we got 3 wide up in this front pack, and Wetzel just shoving Katina in that middle lane to the point. But you got Tommy Ryan and the 5 of Booth on that inside, really strong. And here comes Glenn Campbell in the 44.
Yeah, and I've noticed here over the last couple seasons, and Mike might be able to allude to this as well. Here at Talladega, the middle lane has really played an interesting factor of sometimes being the dominant lane, more so than that top lane up against the fence. Like, working that middle lane, you can make a lot of hay in this truck, really in all the NASCAR stock car vehicles that run here at Talladega. But that middle lane just seems to be where all the magic happens.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Gary. I've noticed that too in the last couple of races I've raced here at Talladega. The middle, the top line is the lines that seem like are the fastest on out here. But that middle line, you can really make some headway, especially if you're getting a good push and you're a good pusher as well. You're going to make a lot of gain up through the pack.
Yeah, you're going to make a lot of gain up through the pack, and as well, too. I mean, really, you want to run the bottom to save fuel, but if you want to go fast and don't care about your fuel mileage, you're going to run middle to top.
Well, the thing is with the top, and I feel like Dale Jr. has said this quite often, you know, running the top is the easiest to protect. Now, Gary, does that translate into iRacing as well?
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot easier to block a run from the top of the racetrack to the bottom of the racetrack than going from bottom to top. I mean, we've seen it here in real life on many occasions where you want to see the guy on the straightaways, you know, he'll usually run the top lane because that top lane gets a lot of momentum. And then the corners, they go back down to the bottom and they go back up to the top. When they take their time and when they're just riding to click off laps, most of the time, unless it's the ARCA car, you're going to see them ride right up against the fence. It's just what they do here at Daytona and Talladega. And it's just one of those things where, it's a lot easier to defend a run from the inside as opposed to the outside. Not sure why, just seems to be how it works.
Wesley Donaldson to the point, but still has Wetzel into the inside.
Yeah, it looks like Wetzel's still going to lead that lap by 48 one-thousandths of a second there.
Wesley's got to
Really
be like, come
good racing
on.
here at the front of this pack.
Yeah, it's a side by side. I don't even think they're really like racing each other. I think it's more like it's lap 10. Let's get to like 60 or 65 before we start throwing everything into it. But 13 people currently watching, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Welcome to All-Star 15 TV. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe and like button. Help out the channel, please. And if you're on Facebook, follow the channel and also hit that like button. Just like Kevin Stone also did. He shared it out.
And you get that cool thing right there. It's pretty cool.
It is really cool. Especially if you know who that guy is. You know, Mr. L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Join the movement.
Yeah.
But this is that front pack from Donaldson all the way to Kevin Stone in 15th. Just riding around, but then you go back to Pedro Mojica, Chad Coleman, Sean Macklin, Robert Fury, and Brian. Oh, nope. Yeah, it stops at Robert Fury. This pack is just riding. And just so you can get a little bit of a hint of how fast they're running, they're about 0.4 to a half a second slower than our lead pack.
Yeah, these guys up here in the lead pack, I noticed with Scott Stenzel being in the main part of this draft right here, he's going 185, 186 miles an hour going into turn 3. About 185 as he hits the start-finish line. So these guys are going a little bit quicker than the guys in the second pack. But nonetheless, I mean, roughly it feels like you're going about the same speed. But you can definitely feel a difference once you get up into the main draft.
Well, this first pack is back to 3 wide again, too.
Yep, back to 3 wide again. It looked like Tommy Ryan and I think the 3 truck, Jeff Ryan, they decided to drop out of this main pack. Not sure if they're thinking that these guys are going to have a pretty big disaster on their hands in a few laps or what. But like you said, Mike, they're back to 2 and 3 wide racing.
And I think it might be a smart move for them backing out just a tad. Just for what we've seen so far. 2 wide, no problem. 3 wide, it's gotten a little hairy, especially in that inside lane. And honestly, that inside lane is what caused that first incident. I know there wasn't a caution, but there was a couple beating and banging going into turn 3, which caused that 3 or 4 car wreck. And I think it's actually knocked out Jay Randall Watkins, and Steve Ritter. So got to be careful, especially being 3 wide like this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you definitely want to be careful and aware of your surroundings. But, you know what? We're getting halfway through this first fuel load here. About halfway through this first run. If it's me and we're running 100% fuel and I've got those couple extra sets of tires, I'm definitely going to use them. You might want to change because of how much time it takes to do a fuel stop. You might want to consider doing 2 tires here. Whether it's 2 lefts or 2 rights, you definitely want to consider a 2-tire stop here.
Oh, what a move by Joey Katina, going from the middle to the bottom line right there.
Doesn't have help right now. Doesn't have help. Is Stenzel going to cut down in front of Katina? He is. He's going to give up that middle lane, and E.J. O'Rourke looks to take the lead here, and Booth is going to run to the middle as well.
Yeah, he's going to shoot by both these guys here. They got a lot of momentum in this middle lane right now. Here they come to the bottom. They're all going to clear that bottom lane. And that seems to be the race. You know, you make your moves and you get to the front, and then you want to go right down to the bottom of the racetrack. Look at the 5 and the 9 here working together. Non-playoff drivers here to spoil the party. And the 42 all right here in this mix. And the 14 of Joey Katina just riding in their draft.
And here comes Hayes to the inside. He's got no help on this inside line, though.
No help on that inside line. It's going to cost him the lead if he was trying to go for that move. Not going to lead that lap.
Ryan Fry in the chat goes, "Don't tell me what to do, AJ," referring back to the like and subscribe. I love
What
you,
was
Ryan.
he meaning by his first comment there?
Oh, hello, fellas, MFJ.
Yeah.
I misspoke in our wrestling show that aired yesterday, and I cut it
boy.
completely out because I called MJF MFJ by accident, and they just lost it and completely just ran with it from that.
That's an AEW wrestler for anybody that doesn't watch AEW.
Nope. Don't watch it.
Hopefully, a WWE wrestler in a couple years.
Well, look at Hayes Booth. We talked about him not making the greatest move. He's going to lead that lap by 8 1,000ths of a second. They're 3 and 4 wide right here.
I thought that was going to be really bad with Rivera making it 4 wide, and with the exit room just goes down to that inside lane, and hey, wow, that 51 just elevated it, Joe Hudson.
Yeah, you get that. It gets about 5, 6 lanes. Well, 6 lanes wide. It feels like through the tri-oval, and then right after the start-finish line, it cuts back down to 4. You could go 4 wide here. You could definitely go 3 wide here with a lot of room. 4 gets a little sketchy, but you can go 5, 6 wide through that tri-oval, no problem.
Well,
Here comes EJ O'Rourke. He's looking to make a pass here on the 51.
Man, O'Rourke wants that lead bad. Both playoff drivers, O'Rourke and Hudson, crosses the line. It's O'Rourke.
Well, to
It's definitely gonna be O'Rourke
do
there.
that 4 wide thing, you need a lot of trust with the guys around you when you're racing like that too.
Absolutely, definitely takes a lot of trust with your competitors to be able to make that move happen. And these guys know what they could do and what they can't do. I mean, a lot of these guys here in Sim500 have been racing in Sim500 for a very long time. And these guys are so good, they've actually got a lot of former eNASCAR pro drivers in this field. So, or guys that have tried Road to Pro. So there's a lot of talent in this field.
Who are you talking about, Gary?
Well, I mean, Daniel Falkingham's one. I know he's not in this league currently, but that's one.
I thought there was a certain special one you were going to mention, the driver that you picked tonight.
I'm just mentioning that there's, a lot of former pro drivers in this field. I really can't name them all, but there's a lot of talent in this lobby.
O'Rourke doing a really good job in that middle lane. Yeah, he's followed closely by Wetzel and Campbell. And just to give you guys a reference, if you look at your ticker, outside of the, it's Wetzel, Campbell, Hayes, and Stenzel. Everybody else is a playoff driver in there. But then you go a little bit further back, starting with, Nelson Rivera, Donaldson, Dalton. Everybody is sitting not that pretty. The only one I feel okay with is the 30 of Brian Macklin plus 12. He's got a little bit of a cushion, not right where he wants to be. But that's a lot of playoff drivers to think about.
A lot of playoff drivers to think about. And, honestly, we are one yellow away from this whole race changing and everybody being bunched up back together. The thing is, you don't want to be the caution.
Well,
No.
you know what's interesting here, guys? That second pack led by, I think it's Pedro Mojica in that second pack. They are starting to catch that first pack here. I mean, the first pack's been 3 and 4 wide. Now it's back to 2 wide, but these guys are catching them.
Yeah, they were 6
I
seconds
noticed
back.
when Jeff Ryan and Tommy Ryan backed out of the main pack, they're usually pretty fast at Daytona and Talladega and Atlanta when we come to these drafting tracks. So I think part of their plan was, I don't know if they had any friends right there in that second pack, but they all got together and then they started making their way back toward the front again. I don't think that's a coincidence.
You're currently on board with Pedro Mojica. That gap is just about 2 seconds to Joey Cantina in the lead. And Pedro with the fastest lap of the race, a 51.09.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
and
got.
we're really
he's
gonna
got
start-
their, I was gonna say
Go
real
ahead.
quick. He's got their sniff of their draft now.
I was just getting ready to say the same thing. They are definitely getting ready to hit into that draft. Normally it's about a second and a half. It's about 2 seconds-ish is when you really start clipping the draft. But what they've really started doing is they've been starting to run the middle line for the majority of the lap. Some of the guys still running the bottom, but really what they've been able to do is they've been able to run that middle line, and that's what's really been able to bring them back up toward the front.
Well, they've completely caught up to this front pack. Now it's not just the top 15. It's the top 19 now back in this gigantic pack. And basically nowhere to go. You're going to have to make room and go where the run is. But they got to be happy to at least have made it back to this main pack.
Yeah, and if you make a move here, you have to be urgent with it. You can't be lackadaisical with it. You can't be lazy with your moves. You have to have your move with urgency and purpose.
Whoa,
where
Gary,
you're moving and why you're moving.
Gary, you don't need to take a shot at me like that when you crew chiefed me at a plate race. Whoa.
Well, and it's not just you, but it's a lot of drivers. Some of them really struggle with, oh my God, should I make this move? Should I not? If you know that there's a move that you've got to make and that spotter says you're clear, you got to go do it.
Yeah, it's basically, if I say go, you go. Don't think about it, just do it.
Yeah, and that's where you really have to trust the spotter, not only in the game, but if these guys do have human spotters, there's those extra eyes in the sky. It really does help to be able to make some moves and see where the runs are coming and where they're going.
Yeah, those human crew chiefs and spotters, they'll give you more intel than the in-race spotters or crew chiefs and be able to tell you, all right, run on the outside, run on the outside, run on the inside, and where it's coming from. But holy cow, it is night and day from the difference, and they are catching, it looks like, lap traffic.
Yes, Brian Wertman, him and Simley are there, and I was just about to say this. We are catching lap traffic for the first time tonight.
And Scott Simley, a playoff driver, that number 12, currently in 29th place.
Yeah, him and Wortman both had a slam on the binders there to avoid wreck number 1 here tonight that didn't bring out that caution. So now these guys are just trying to run the top side and fall in line here and see what they can do to get back on the lead lap if a caution were to come out.
If I were them, I'd probably want to get right behind somebody in this front group, hold on to the back of this, and just ride it around until hopefully a caution comes out or pit stops.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they might have to pit a couple laps sooner than the rest of the pack because when you're working by yourselves in tandem like that, you're using a lot more fuel than when you're running a pack of 20 trucks like you see these guys here.
Man, this now second pack, starting with Jason Karlovich, they are hauling the mail. They're running the same exact lap times as that lead 20 cars.
Yeah, so these guys, I think they finally figured it out that the former second pack was running the middle line. So look what these guys have started doing. They're also basically running the middle line. I know they're kind of running the bottom, but they're very tight-knit, and they're not scrubbing their speed on corner exit. They're letting that truck drift up to that middle lane a little bit just so they can get going, and they called me a liar right there. I lied.
But also, you know, Gary, throwing it out there, another thing they're doing is they're not trying to pass each other. They are just trying to get in a line and go.
Yeah, they're trying to get in the line and go, and they're just the top 2 for sure, and even the third. Beasley's doing a really good job just breaking that bubble between him and that 30 truck, and the 30 is doing an excellent job pushing that 60 around this racetrack.
They should be faster this last time by, and speaking of this last time by, there are the times last time around. Scott Stenzel, your front car in the lead pack, a 51.59, and then you have Jason Karlovich, a 51.51, so just a little bit faster.
Yep, just a hair faster from that last lap to this lap.
But back up front, Katina takes the lead again from Stenzel. He's got Wetzel as well. 25 laps already into this round of 18 opening race here for the TranService Truck Series. It's playoff time, baby, and all those yellow numbers, tags you see on the tower, those are your playoff drivers. There's 18 of them, and right now, only one lap down. That's number 12 of Scott Simley at the back end of this pack.
Yeah, he's the only playoff driver lap down, but there are 2 drivers a lap down. The other one is Brian Wertman right behind him there in that 30th spot. So, in theory, they are battling for that lucky dog position.
They are. Oh, what's the 42 doing? He's pushing the 9 up high. Wow. I didn't think the 42 was clear, and I don't think the 9 thought he was either.
Now the 9's going to come right back to the middle to hook up with that 42.
Man, it's amazing. You know, why'd you do that to me? How dare you do that to me? One turn later, now I'm going to work with you.
That's right. It's amazing how short your memory has to be in these tempers are. You know, you're mad 1 minute.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the wreck.
Here's the big wreck that the second pack was looking for.
Ooh.
Chad Knaus was spot on right there with what he
Nelson
said, but I'm
Rivera.
going to paraphrase. He said, there's at least going to be one guy that everybody's going to be mad at the rest of the day, and I think it's going to be the guy that booted the 9 out of the way.
That's the 42 of Stenzel. Here you go.
Here's a
Bump.
classic act of pushing the pusher, and this is why we talk about not pushing the pusher right there. You see it, and it causes the big one right there.
Oh, there's Simley.
and
Simley, the
Simley
lap
gets
down.
involved.
Oh, man, that's
That's-
unfortunate to see.
That's probably going to give Wortman the lucky dog, if I would imagine.
Yeah, as long as Wortman didn't hit anything, yes, it will give him the lucky dog.
You're looking from the far chase of Scott Simley. Sees it happen. He's checking up. Oh, he's going to rear end Ryan. And
Oh, that 42 coming up on the track at the last moment. Let's take a look at that 74. He was the last truck in this pack. Let's see what he does.
backing it up for your viewing pleasure.
I'm just curious.
Wortman, race IQ, sees the wreck, and
Well, you know where
what
he
a
learned it
job.
from, right?
where do you learn
Morgan
it from?
Shepherd and Mike Harmon, because they only have 1 to 2 cars in their stable, so you have to be really careful. You know.
I think
to do this.
Joe
And,
Hudson. I think Joe Hudson got a piece of that wreck too, guys. If I saw him, I think he was in the
I
grass.
think he did. I think you're right about that. I thought I did see him get a piece of that wreck.
It's another playoff driver. I think EJ O'Rourke got a piece of it too.
Oh, Nelson Rivera.
And yeah, there's Pedro. I think Kevin Stone got a piece of that.
A lot of drivers here tonight in the playoffs that have damage, and out of all the tracks we go to, the super speedways, you do not want body damage. And Gary, why is that?
These trucks are very, very aero dependent. I mean, it's crazy how much, even a crinkled fender at a place like this can really just be a parachute for your race truck. So it's really a key to make sure you keep this truck clean all race long. Now, what's great about this damage model, you could basically bend out all the damage and still be just as fast as before, but you still want to make sure that you try to keep your truck clean as much as possible. I believe we're on board with the 42.
Yes, sir, we are.
Let's take a look at it. Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's tough. And here he comes back up across the racetrack. Here he goes. Uh-oh. Bam.
Yeah, he
That's
was
a hard
trying to
hit.
correct that car the whole time, and then when it finally caught it, just sent them right towards the wall.
Yeah, it sent him right towards the wall. And you don't know where your steering's at or where your suspension components are at right there in that moment. So you're just trying to hold it as straight as you can and lock the brakes. And unfortunately, with the way that truck caught, it just went right back up to the racetrack once it gained traction again.
And you're also hoping you don't get hit as hard as he did, because you're sitting there sideways in the middle of the track and you're just like, please don't anybody just slam me really hard.
Well, he got slammed pretty hard right there.
So you have Stenzel on pit road. You still have Nelson Rivera on pit road, playoff driver. Richard Beasley, Brian Wortman, and the 12 of Scott Simley still on pit road.
Yeah, we're going to see these playoff drivers stay on pit road to at least try and get all their damage fixed so they can recuperate as many points as they can.
And with it being a super speedway, you could probably stay on there for quite a while. And I think Tyler Dalton's coming down pit road now. Just stayed out there to lead that lap.
Yeah, he just wanted to see if he could get out there and gain a bonus point, which he did. So that's the beauty of the the start-finish line being at the exit of pit road. So he knows he's going to lead the lap, and he is a playoff driver, so that's going to help his chances to get a couple points there toward the playoffs.
And taking the lead, the 91 of Wesley Donaldson. You're going to see a lot of strategy going on for these playoff drivers, whether they stay out an extra lap, or I would assume some of the moves they're going to attempt to make later on in the race. But, you know, extra bonus point for Donaldson in that WBD diecast Chevy Silverado. But let's check in on everybody's picks. And I'm not just saying that because mine is currently sitting in that third position. It's the driver of the number 14, boss man himself, Joey Gattina. Gary, where is yours?
Mine's running in P2 right there, Hayes Booth. And I can't remember who did Mike pick again. He stepped away for a minute. Hold on.
I think he picked Glenn Campbell, and currently sitting in that sixth position, still with a pretty good looking race car, that matte black number 44 TranService Logistics Truck Series Chevy Silverado. And we got a lot of
Silverado's looking good. He's definitely keeping it clean.
Speaking of like Chevys, Toyotas, and Fords, a lot of parity within this top 10. You have 5 Chevys, 4 Fords, and 1 Toyota, and that Toyota is the number 2 of Mike Kelly. 3 non-playoff drivers, Hayes Booth, Stoney Benfield, and Glenn Campbell, all in the top 10. Right now, where they stand, 30 laps in this race, Mike Kelly is also your biggest mover of the race, up 24 positions. Oh, here comes the pace truck off pit road.
Making his way into the tri-oval here this time. These guys are getting ready to take the green flag. Once they hit the restart zone here, it's going to be that 91 of Wes Donaldson and the 5 of Hayes Booth. Green flag back in the air.
Oh, hell of a launch for the 91.
Yeah, too good of a launch here. This isn't a mile and a half where you can get away with having a really good launch. Here at places like Daytona and Talladega, you don't want that good launch because you run the risk of losing a lot of spots. And you're seeing right here why the bad news is of getting that good launch. Look at the outside line. It's a lot more put together.
Yeah, it's very put together. And you also have Mike Kelly right behind Booth there. You know, that number 2 is always fast. He's a smart plate track driver or Superspeedway driver. He knows when to push, and right now he is shoving that 5 as that inside lane, Gary. You mentioned that it didn't have a great start, but Joey Gattina is showing how much power is under that Ford F-150.
Yeah, he's really been pushing really good here that lap, and it's going to propel Wes Donaldson to that lead, and he'll keep the lead there, leading that lap there over Hayes Booth. Again, really critical that the guys that stay together the most are going to be faster. So whether that's the outside lane or the inside lanes, we got trucks scattering there.
And it looks like Gerald Livingston is backing way out of this pack. He's like, I'm going to the back, boys.
Yeah, I think Livingston was trying to get out. I thought that was Karlovich. Thank you for pointing that out there, Mike. But yeah, he's just trying to settle in and get some laps in. Everybody's, they dropped the green. It's like the Talladega 500 on the interstate. Let's go.
And they're already 3 wide, a little bit further in the back. Pedro Mojica stuck right in that middle. I don't know about you guys. I've run quite a lot of races here at Talladega or Daytona. Whenever that middle lane pops up, I want no part of it.
Well, it is the way of where you want to be. I mean, if you can get a lot of guys that can run this outside lane.
Oh, here comes Kelly.
Speaking of which, he's going to go with his Toyota teammate there of Karlovich. I know they're not really Toyota teammates, but they're both running Toyotas. But if you could get a few guys that can run that high lane really well, you're going to take advantage of it and propel you back to the middle, like what you're seeing here.
That was a really good move by both of them. The cut back down towards the middle, right in front of the 42 of Stenzel. Still holding on to that third place right now after that incident that brought out our first caution just a couple of laps ago.
And the thing is, when you're the 5 of Hayes Booth like that, the biggest thing is, sometimes you just got to let that stuff roll off your sleeve a little bit, just get back to work, and just stay patient and don't panic.
Two drivers that are going backwards right now. Bobby Wetzel is going to bring Tyler Dalton with them. They're heading towards the back. They do not have help up there.
Yeah, not a whole lot of help up there, and there's only two in the outside lane like that, you're bound to lose a couple of spots. But Beasley here trying to resurrect it a little bit. There's 3 trucks now there on that outside lane.
It's like, come on, man, we trying up here. And you know Dalton's holding a pretty line. It looks like that draft is really messing with Wetzel. You know, he's a little fishtail happy there.
Yeah, I think one of these guys here in the middle lane might try to go to that outside line.
There
Maybe
it
a guy
goes.
like Hayes Booth, here it comes. I was just getting ready to say, he might be one of those guys to try and pull out and go to that outside lane. He does that. Going up against the fence and taking that run from Richard Beasley. Richard going to be able to give him a good push here coming down this back straightaway. And Beasley was a guy that we talked about a lot at the beginning of the season. Kind of fell off a little bit. This is his first really good race probably in about 2 months. So good to see him back up toward the front and fighting for the lead here at Talladega.
Yeah, I know he's not a playoff driver, but having a good race tonight could just elevate you the rest of the season and even give you some momentum into next season.
There it is.
That 42, what a move that was.
Yeah, that was a move. And here comes the 10. He was trying to make a move on Hayes. And it's going to be close at the line. Looks like Beasley. led the
Beasley,
lap
wow.
by 2/100ths of a second right there. Man, if I'm Hayes, I might be getting a little bit frustrated. Every move I've made to the front, I end up side by side or going and losing spots. Look at Beasley. He's stuck in the middle with nobody at the moment. He's got to go all the way back to that 75 right there.
Yeah, they just fox-told him, and he is just going to sink like a rock.
Well, I mean, we've seen here at Talladega too here, gentlemen, a lot of guys in the past, we've seen them be really, really good pushers. You push a guy to the front, and then what do? They leave you for the other lane, whether it's high or low, but they push you all the way to the front, and then they
Look
just leave
who's
you hanging
coming
out
to
to
the
dry.
front right now. Brian Macklin for the first time tonight makes the move past Hayes Booth here for the lead.
Yeah,
that's-
he's got a good push here from the 24, Sean Macklin. I don't know if that's a relation, but it's there. They're both
least it's
working
looking
together
like
in the
a
middle
relation.
lane really well.
And
What's
guys,
that?
that's about the 3rd or 4th lap in a row where I thought Hayes was going to lead a lap, and by the time they come out of turn 4, he is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I think also, too, at this point, he knows what not to do, and he knows now what to do when it comes to the last lap. You got to wait till the last second to make that move in order to lead that lap that you need that pays the money.
Well, let's also state the fact that this is his first race with these group of guys, so a lot of these guys don't know how he does
Treat him like a rookie,
race
that's
around
right.
them, and you treat them like a rookie until you know what they can do.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Jason Karlovich, I'm pretty happy with this 5 truck. Pushing me to the front, keeping me up there, giving me good pushes, working really well together. And I mean, we've seen with Hayes in other leagues, at least Mike and I have, you know, he's a really good all-around racer. It doesn't matter if we're going to Daytona, Talladega, Bristol, you know, you name it. Hayes Booth, he's probably going to be up toward the front.
I think he was doing Road to Pro at one point, too.
Yeah, and it's insane. He's only like 16 or 17 years old, and he's got this much speed. He's definitely one of the future guys for iRacing, that's for sure. I think he did Road to Pro, attempted it this past year.
Yeah, it's even on his car or truck.
Yep, there you go.
The inside line pulling away for right now, and as I say that, here comes the 9 of Bobby Wetzel. But Karlovich P1, Macklin P2, Wetzel in 3rd, Sean Macklin in 4th, and Tyler Dalton in 5th. But you know, as I get to that top 5, it just changes.
Yeah, yeah. We instead of through the field, we might as well go around the field. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
no
just kind of how it goes here at Talladega. You can call the top 5 1 minute, and then by the time they go another 100 feet, it changes. It's pretty crazy out here.
That 24 of Sean Macklin just really wants to get that truck up towards the front. You saw him just poke a little bit underneath that yellow line to maybe get a look down the racetrack, but I think he's just trying to stay glued to that number 30 in front of him.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well be your ride or die here and just stick with them. And who knows? Something might happen at the end of the race where maybe the favor is reversed. It's really no surprise seeing some of the best guys in Sim500 up toward the front. We see it every week. That cream always tends to rise to the top. Look at the 60. He's in the top 5 every week. Same with that 30 there, Brian Macklin. Same with Tyler Dalton there in the 19. But you get a couple of guys mixed in there that we don't see up front all the time, like a Joey Katina. Even though he's more towards the back half of the top 10, very rare to see him consistently in the top 5. Of course, you got Jeff Ryan, Kevin Stone, Mike Kelly, Daytona and Talladega, and the new Atlanta. It really tends to level out the playing field.
Well, even look like Stoney Benfield there in 8th in that 75 truck. He's up there with these guys.
Yeah, and he's done a really good job so far as well. The faster pastor, he is doing a really good job in that number 75 tonight.
Now let's bring up those points once again. Top right portion of your screen. Macklin plus 12, Ryan plus 6, Gatina, Kelly, and Mojica, along with Swinehart and Simley plus 3, and everybody else is zeroed out the rest of the way.
Yeah, so it's really going to be interesting after this race tonight how that top 10 is going to look, because that's who advances into the next round. 11th through 18th will be eliminated here after a few races, so we're getting right down to the wire here at the end of the season.
Yeah, and if we're looking off that list right now of what we've seen so far tonight, Simley, I think it's Hudson, Rivera, and Stone. Those guys have all been involved in accidents so far tonight.
Yeah, so the elimination race we've got in this first round of the round of 18, Talladega, Chicagoland, Dover, and then Charlotte. That's going to be the elimination race there, race 22. And then we have Iowa, Rockingham, Phoenix, and Atlanta 08. Closing the season out of this 26-race season, and that's where the top 10 drivers will be battling for that championship. Rounds 23 through 26. So, pretty interesting playoff format. It's a little longer, and it makes it overall a deserving champion, and a really good mix of tracks here. A lot of different challenges. Rockingham is definitely one that I've got my eye on, and then the elimination race at Charlotte is another track I have my eye on for these guys in the coming weeks.
Well, I will even go off your thing. My couple tracks that I'm keeping an eye on is Chicagoland and Phoenix. Those two are the ones I'm really keeping an eye on too.
See, I would say Dover. I would throw Dover in there because of what we did earlier on the season. If we could replicate going caution-free, but with that caution-free, we saw a crud ton of passing, some bump and runs, and there was a lot of beating and banging, even though these trucks were staying in the right direction. I can't wait to go to another short track like Dover, if you would call it a short track.
Yeah, we a ton of comers and goers in that race last time we were there. And also, not only that, on top of the comers and goers, if you made a penalty, that effectively ended your race there toward the end. So you always got to make sure and be careful of, mistakes here in these playoffs. Again, going to a place like Dover, we were caution-free of all places. Talladega, only one caution so far tonight. So, you really have to mind yourself here and watch your P's and Q's in the playoffs.
Ryan Fry in the Facebook chat. Rockingham is my all-time favorite track. Looking forward to watching. Well, we look forward to having you watch it with us because I love Rockingham as long as I'm not racing it.
Right. And, honestly, and we've talked about this on many occasions, Rockingham's one of my better tracks on iRacing. So I love going there. I love racing there. I love watching races there. It's a tough track. It really is a driver's racetrack. It takes a lot of patience to run at Rockingham. And these trucks always put on a good show, but especially at Rockingham, that's no different.
Now, if you guys are wondering, how are we getting all these comments and seeing what people are saying? If you're on YouTube, all you have to do is subscribe, wait a minute or two, and it'll allow you to start hitting that chat bubble as, the 44 and the 10 are going backwards.
We got some scrambles.
Joey's on the wall off turn 2. Tyler Dalton, Spenfield. Glenn
hard
Campbell.
hit for Tyler Dalton into the fence. Hard hit for Stoney Benefield. A lot of guys involved in this one here. Another big one here.
You saw that one coming from a mile away.
And there goes AJ's and Mike's pick.
Yep.
Hi, I'm just here.
Katina not clear comes. Oh.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite clear there, the 19, and that just shows it right there. Wonder if he had any help, though.
Katina, if he had help?
Yeah, I don't know if he got loose or if he just came on up there. I didn't quite see it. I'm sorry.
All right, because he's got Karlovic right behind him. Let's go to a little closer of a chase cam.
See, he does get a little bit of contact there. He does have a little bit of help that sends him up the racetrack into the 19.
But we got to jump on board with, I think it's the 75 of Stony Benfield.
Yeah, he takes a pretty hard hit here.
He takes a lick and a half to Tyler Dalton's back end.
And here it is. Oh. And Talladega, you only get a split-second decision to, pick a lane to go in, and it looked like he was going to be in the clear until the 19 came across the racetrack.
Absolutely. Glenn Campbell also in that wreck as well. I think the 44 might actually have a blown motor.
Yes, he's
at least he's smoking, that's for sure.
That smoke is getting thicker and thicker.
Yeah, it might be one of those things. I mean, I had a darn near blown motor last night at Auto Club, and I was able to recover pretty nicely. Just really going to depend on how well they can repair that truck.
All right, second caution.
Feeding time on pit road here, gentlemen.
46 laps in, and everybody coming down pit road. John Swinehart, just like what Tyler Dalton did last time under our first caution, staying out, grabbing that extra bonus point. He's going to probably come down pit road when we circle around.
Point might save Tyler Dalton as we get further into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
But I'm noticing here we are at 28 laps to go. So, gentlemen, this is the money stop right here, effectively. If we get no more cautions, we're right on the edge there of making it to the end on gas.
I mean, we basically went around 20 laps under that green flag run. But Swinehart staying out, Wetzel, Donaldson, Kelly, and Faudy, your top five, followed by Ryan, Beasley, Stetzel, Stone, and Booth, your top 10. You're watching All-Star 15 TV. We'll be back to bring you the restart from Talladega Superspeedway.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
We are back from Talladega Superspeedway. You're watching All-Star 15 TV. AJ Capola, Gary Wells, Mike Campiggio, all up in the broadcast booth. High atop Talladega Superspeedway. Guys, how's the race so far? Gary, got any things you want to throw out there from what you've seen?
Well, I mean, so far it's been really entertaining. These guys have kept it mostly clean up to this point. Honestly, just a couple of driver errors that caused the 2 cautions so far. The pusher, that third truck in line, pushing the second truck in line. Not a good combination. If these guys can avoid that, I think we can go green the rest of the way here, but about 26 to go when we do take the green flag ultimately. I think it's going to come down to some guys being a little bit more aggressive, and I don't think we're done with the cautions quite yet because the intensity is only about to get more and more ramped up here.
Mike Campigio, what you got?
I was gonna say the racing tonight has been really good. A lot of 2 and 3 wide, 4 wide racing. Like we said, a couple drivers have made a mistake, but if these guys can keep up what they've been doing, I think we're in store for a fantastic finish.
So, Gary, how long does it take under pace speed to get around this racetrack? Because Swinehart just left pit road. He's on the backstretch, and they're about to get to the tri-oval. I think he stayed on pit road a little too long.
Might have stayed on pit road a little too long. He's going to be out of the draft, but
yeah, he was on pit road for 1:45.
Yeah, about 2 minutes is a pace lap around here. So yeah, he was on pit road probably a little too long. So we're back to green flag action here, AJ, with the 9 of Wetzel getting a really good start.
Yeah, you said earlier getting a really good launch at these super speedways, not exactly what you want. But Mike Kelly, to his back bumper, is the 91 of Wesley Donaldson, the 15 of Seth Faudy. Gonna drop down? No, they're gonna bring up Richard Beasley to that high. Never mind.
Oh, never mind. Faudy going down to the bottom to help another Toyota driver.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. That's right.
So, Gary, I'm happy you mentioned that. You know, we've seen it all race tonight, not just because most of the field is Chevys, but do you think in iRacing, just along with real life, that there is some, hey, that's a Ford, I'm going to go with the Ford. That's a Chevy, I'm going to go with the Chevy. Do you think that's in iRacing as well?
I think for the most part, like in tonight's race, I think that's a little bit of a coincidence. Now, as we get up further into the esports world and into some of these pro series, I don't think it's as much of a coincidence as people think. I do think that you will have your manufacturers alliances with Chevys, Fords with Fords, and so on and so forth. But I think for the most part, I think a lot of it tonight has just been a coincidence. Your friends, especially at this point in the race with 25 laps to go, are where you find them. You don't really care about your teammates at this point. You just want to get to the front and take home that checkered flag.
I don't know what's going on with Swinehart, but he had to come back down pit road for at least another... It looked like he was held for about a minute, so I wonder if he got caught speeding, and we are 3 wide up front, everybody.
Yeah, we are 3 wide up front. It could be in a combination of things where he was caught either speeding or an unsafe pit exit.
The bump drafting, too, especially now, is more there we go.
The yellow flag is out.
Right when I was going to say it, the bump drafting was getting more aggressive.
It looked like that middle lane was really pushing up to that top lane, like really trying to side draft that top lane.
Yeah, and you really don't want to side draft when you're in the middle. I mean, you're getting all of the draft
Watch
as
this.
it is. I think
Wetzel just keeps
these
going
guys were
up
just-
and up.
These guys were just getting really close. Beasley came down just a little bit. Oh, that's netcode right there.
Oh, wow, that is netcode.
Hey, that looked like me last night at Auto Club. Netcode.
And
Took
we
me
are
right out of the race.
under caution for the 3rd time tonight. Just a couple, like 2 laps before we went green. So I don't know if we're really going to see people come down pit road unless they have damage. But right now, your race leader is the number 2 of Mike Kelly. As they're going around to catch that pace car. With just 23 laps to go. 17 people currently watching on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Thank you, everybody. If you can, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, or hit that follow button if you're on Facebook or Twitch. Appreciate you all being here. Come talk to us. Who you rooting for? How's your driver doing? But right now, Mike Kelly, Seth Faudy, Wesley Donaldson, Hayes Booth, and the number 3 of Jeff Ryan rounds out your top 5 under caution for the third time. Gary, we're getting to the point where it's just going to turn it all the way up. All the heat's going to get turned up, and it's basically go time. Whenever that pace truck comes in, you mentioned we're not done wrecking, but dude, the intensity's about to jump through the roof.
Oh, it definitely is here in the Sim500. Always gets really tight and really aggressive at the end of these races. So, like I said, I don't think we're quite done. Like I said, we're not quite done wrecking. We're not quite done pushing each other to the absolute limit. So, gonna be interesting from here on out how things pander out.
Oh, and here come pit stops. Booth, Beasley, and Ryan.
I'm not quite fully surprised, coming in here, top off that tank of gas, just in case we get a green-white checkered. That last caution, we were really close to that fuel window, so now you're getting a little bit of insurance here by coming in and pitting for the event of a green-white checkered if we have one.
It looks like Karlovich missed a pit stall, too, because he had to back in like a couple of pit stalls behind.
Yeah, he really missed it. We're watching that 10, because that 10 was in that incident that brought out our third caution, and he's going to be on pit road for a while.
Well, speaking of that incident, me and Gary were having a conversation earlier this week about netcode, especially with the iRacing update that's coming. The netcode that we've seen so far this week and what's going to be coming after this update, it's going to get a lot worse, I believe, before it gets better.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Now, what makes you think that, since we're under caution, we can have this kind of discussion for all our iRacing viewers that jump on the sim, or just people not knowing what netcode is?
Well, netcode is just, exactly what it is. Network coding, for lack of a better term. Basically with how you connect to the server and the other guy that you're racing with connects to the server, where you kind of meet in the middle where there's empty space, but you're really making contact. That's just the old internet connection. Somebody's not matching up quite right to the internet connection, basically, for lack of a better term. Joe could probably explain this a lot more better in detail than I could, but speaking of Joe, we haven't seen him yet today, so maybe hope he's all right. Anyways, but really with netcode, you really, it's really out of your control. It really just comes down to internet and connections, pretty much.
And we, like I said, normally we see the ramp up of those issues right or around or after an update.
Well, we are under caution for the third time, and we are getting down to it. Gonna come across the line with 21 laps to go. Seeing if anybody's gonna come down pit road again. I don't think so. But guys, if you haven't yet, check out our sponsors in the description. Gotta give them a huge shout out there. See if I can get the thing to repopulate. There it is. Drinking Bros Auto Racing, that Facebook page. If it's auto racing, F1, NASCAR, basically
World of Outlaws, IndyCar, all of it.
There you go. Because my brain was drawing a blank, but yeah, go check it out.
Yeah.
They'll just have threads upon threads of that weekend's race. Like, it was a lot of fun talking about. What was this week? Vegas, and how Chase Elliott decided to hit the wall in practice and basically ruin his weekend for qualifying. You also have the Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast, new episodes every Thursday. They're in Nerdtober right now. That's been a lot of fun. They're talking some spooky movies. Tomorrow, they're actually talking about the 2015 Goosebumps movie. And then Friday, it's the Wrestling with Nerds podcast on that same Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast YouTube page. They're going to be talking about the NWO from WCW and WWE, and basically how they can literally just go from WWE to WCW back to WWE, and it's just DX or NWO the whole time. And then Falcon Grafix, my buddy Mick Olofsson. If you use code AllStar15TV, you save $5 off your first vehicle wrap. Go check it out. If you want to jump back to Monday's stream, half the field is literally Falcon Graphics cars. So go check that out. He does really good work. He actually made me my late model car, and it is very, very nice.
Yeah, he definitely did some good work with your late model car. I've seen it a couple of times. Getting ready to go green. We got a fan here in the chat saying 77. Let's go. Stay smart. You have a good strategy. Well, hopefully it begins to pay off because he's really starting to make his way up toward the front in crunch time. And we are getting ready for 20 laps to go when we take the green flag. Coming up into that restart zone here, AJ, and it's a while here.
Yeah.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag, there it is.
There it is. Green flag back in the air. Mike Kelly on that outside with a great launch. Has the 3 of Jeff Ryan right behind him.
He's trying to go down there. Okay, he's clear. All right. I was concerned there for a minute.
And already we got 3 wide, the 24 of Sean Macklin.
Yeah, Sean Macklin making it 3 wide. Here comes Brian to the outside there. You got EJ O'Rourke and Tommy Ryan back here in toward the back of the pack. Here comes the 60. I believe that is Karlovich right there. Or that might be Livingston. I can't really tell.
I think that's Livingston.
That is
Okay,
Livingston.
yeah, that is Livingston.
That outside lane is still going backwards.
Yeah, Livingston, not really used to seeing him up front, so he thought, well, let me try leading the outside lane here, but it looks like everybody's just going to leave him high and dry.
Yeah, no kidding.
Literally. Literally high and dry.
What do they call that? Like pushing a brick?
Pretty much. Here comes the 3 truck. Jeff Ryan led it by 49 1/1000ths of a second. He's out front here at Talladega.
Well, here comes Mike Kelly to that inside, being pushed by the 15 of Seth Faudy. Seth Faudy is in a different car number than he usually is. Isn't he normally in the 40?
I believe so. Yeah, typically the 40. Maybe he got his number changed.
And the 15 is usually Joe Hudson.
Yeah, but the Joe Hudson switched to the 51, so there you go.
Just
a lot
when
of
you
number movement.
just when you think you memorize everybody's number, they change them on you.
That's right. Here comes the 24.
Yeah, the 24, Sean Macklin making it 3 wide to the top. He's got EJ O'Rourke pushing him in that 3rd lane.
Yeah, he's got one of the best pushers in the business right there with him. Who's going to lead this lap? I think it's going to be Coleman. Was I right? No, I was wrong. It was Jeff Ryan by 4 1/1000ths of a second and Sean Macklin in 3rd by 6 1/1000ths of a second. We're talking mere inches there right there, guys.
And we're talking at least 3 by 3 by 3 for at least 5, 6, 7, 8 rows here.
Barbara in the chat is looking for Stoney, and Stoney right now is currently sitting in that 26th position.
Oh, wow, what a save by Jeff Ryan. I mean, he
that was a hell of a
sideways.
save right there. Dead sideways there, able to make it happen.
I believe that was Macklin.
Unfortunately got involved in an accident a couple cautions ago, so he's riding around 26 right now. But here we go, coming to the start-finish line again. I think it's going to be Ryan that'll lead that lap. Let's see. No, it's Sean Macklin by 1 1/1000th of a second.
Jeez.
EJ
O'Rourke is all over the place.
8 1/1000ths of a second.
His truck does not look very stable in that 3rd line.
No, it does not.
Nobody's stable up in that 3rd line. Everybody's just pushing the hell out of each other, trying to get to the end of this race. I don't think they're going to be able to hold on for another 17 laps the way they're going right now.
See,
Look at EJ. He's getting pushed like heck.
Yeah, but speaking of EJ, he took his time to get down to that middle lane. If I was him, I would have just got to that middle lane and just been done with it. You take your time like that, you're going to get wrecked.
Yep, you don't want to throw a lazy block, and you don't want to throw a late bad block. That was on the verge of being a late bad block right there.
Okay, that 5 times fast, no don't.
Nope, not going to happen. But with that movement around, it did increase Sean Macklin's lead that time by 24 1/1000ths of a second coming to the start-finish line. You could throw a blanket over the top 19 right now, all within 1 second of each other. And the whole lead pack here, guys, you could really throw a blanket on. 2.12 seconds between first and 27.
Ooh, 42 just got squirrely.
Hang on to there.
He saved it that time.
Good job for Karlovich to just back off just a tiny bit. They'll let the 42
you aren't going
extends
to be
get it.
backing off much longer if this keeps up. As the longer we go, they're not going to be willing to let you save it. They're just going to wreck you. Look at that middle lane, how it got such a big run right there. It's going to be EJ, no contest, leading that lap. He's going to go to the bottom with some urgency. Same with Jeff Ryan going across the nose of Macklin. Sean Macklin, that is.
O'Rourke looks loose as heck with the fishtailing. The minute he came down, it looked like he popped the apron. I thought he was about to lose the truck.
Yeah, I thought he was too. He's still pretty loose out there. Here comes the 42, or the 99 rather. He left the 42 high and dry. They've got the 60, I think, right there of Karlovich. It's going to be his next help in line, but he's really going to have to focus on the side draft right now to make himself relevant.
All your drivers in yellow are playoff drivers. There's 18 of them. And the whole top 10 but Sean Macklin is a playoff driver.
Well, look at Mojica and Nelson Rivera. They're working their way to the third line now. Here comes Mojica and Rivera.
Jeff Ryan led that lap, 61 1,000ths of a second. Here comes Mojica, like you were saying. He's going to dive down to the bottom of the racetrack with that 41 in tow.
How have
He's
we
going
gone
to be
this
trying
long
to
without
push
a
his
wreck?
teammate there.
How have we
Here
gone this
comes
long without a
Rivera.
wreck?
Rivera now getting pushed by Tommy Ryan in that third line.
Talent. Lots and lots of talent. They know it's go time. We've got 14 laps to go here.
Coming to 13.
Oh, Karlovich is going to make it 4 wide. He's got Tommy Ryan stuck in there in the middle. Now he's going to go to the outside of Rivera.
Oh,
Oh, here we go. There it is. The record.
There's the wreck. There's another one.
Oh, Schweikart.
Oh.
Oh, Karlovich got right here. That was hard. That was a hard hit right there by Jason. For Jason, rather, there.
It looks like only 4 trucks involved in that wreck.
Surprisingly. Let's see what happens here. Oh, just going from 4 to 3 wide there, or trying anyway, and everybody just gets involved. Here comes the 9, and done. That was just going to end the 60 trucks day, and probably a couple others too. Yeah, I don't think John wanted to be 4 wide there in that situation, but that's really one of those things where, I don't know if it was neck code or whatever, but you just got to hold that steering wheel as straight as you can and don't panic.
You guys got to take a look at this, because I can just imagine what it looked like. Gonna go on board with the 17 of Kevin Stone.
Let's go on a cockpit view here. Yeah, there you go.
Watch.
Let's take a look here.
Watch this. Gonna need a new fire suit after this one.
Oh, he's just looking like me. He's just hitting on the brakes there.
Oh,
woo.
wow.
What a move. Nice job, Kevin. Good job.
I'm pretty sure from the broadcast booth I heard an expletive come out of that helmet.
Code red. Code red.
That's him you're hitting the gas, and you're like, oh, brake.
Yeah. And hope you don't wheel hop on the apron.
Well, we're going to go back green with just about 10 or 9 laps to go. But for right now, we are going to take a quick commercial break. The final commercial break of the race tonight. You're going to take a look at the series sponsor, the TranService Logistics Incorporated.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
to Hogwarts to Gotham. The nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
We're back, everybody, from Talladega Superspeedway. You're watching All-Star 15 TV. It's the Sim500 TranService Truck Series. Up in the broadcast booth, it's myself, AJ Capola, Gary Wells, and Mike Campigio. We're going to go around the broadcast booth here, starting with Mike Campigio. 10 laps to go. What's going through your mind?
As you would say on Monday night, as your teammate would say on Monday night, chaos. I mean, it's going to be chaos, intensity, pushing, aggressive moves. It's going to be all of that. And there's probably going to be another wreck in this race as well, is what I'm thinking.
Shameless plug here. We have some chaos merchandise. And Gary,
Under one of those.
As Mike gave us the crew chief or broadcaster view, 10 laps to go, just about going green. If you're within a chance at a win as a driver, what are you thinking?
I'm white knuckling the steering wheel. I'm pulling my belts tight one more time because I know that this is going to be a crazy last few laps here. Anybody can win from anywhere at Talladega. We've seen Dale Sr. here to his last victory go from 20th to first in 10 laps or 6 laps or whatever it was. We've seen guys wreck in turns 3 and 4, and the guy in 12th and 13th place take the lead coming off of 4 to win the darn thing. So it's going to be interesting. I think you have to expect the unexpected. You're going to be as aggressive as you can. You got to take every run that you can get and see if you can make something happen.
MB Star Car said in the YouTube chat, 77, you got this. Let's go. Fury in 5th. You know, he's been creeping up towards that front all night, and he's been there for quite a while now. Pedro Mojica plus 22 from the start. Your current race leader. Right behind him, you have EJ O'Rourke, and on the outside,
Green.
Jeff Ryan and Sean Macklin. We are green again, coming to 9 laps to go.
9 laps of racing to go here at Talladega.
And Brian Macklin's the first one to jump outside for that third line back here.
Yep, he's going to make it happen there on that outside lane.
And Jeff Ryan getting a heck of a shot from the 22 of Sean Macklin down this backstretch, but here comes that inside lane. A little more put together, it looks like.
Yeah, definitely a lot more put together than before here. This middle lane going to be the place to be, I think. I think you're going to see that winner come from the either the inside or that middle lane. Still a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing. Listening to these engines get wound up and go for it. Pretty sight to experience here at Talladega.
Absolutely. And they are standing
going
up.
to the outside to make it happen.
He's got a whole bunch of drivers pushing him too.
I think your guy in the catbird seat is at 77. We've been talking about him here in the last few laps. Robert Friery right there in that third spot on the inside lane. He's going to be a guy to watch. Jeff Ryan's going to be a guy to watch. I think if you're up here in this lead pack, everybody's got a chance to win this race.
What's funny is if this was any other track, if you're third on the inside, you're probably in third. But third on the inside, Robert Fieri, he's in seventh.
Yeah, it's crazy out here, man. The way that you have to position yourself is wild. You have to be very aggressive, and you have to have a lot of nerves of steel, let's say, to make it happen.
And basically, this field is entirely 3 wide. Every single truck in this pack is 3 wide, except for the 2 drivers at the back.
Yeah, except for the 12 and the 13 right there, just right in the back. They're not really in contention. Well, I mean, they are. It's Talladega. But I think these guys are playing it smart. Watch these guys get all wadded up here, and they should be able to make it through the incident pretty well.
Got a view from the blimp cam, and he basically saw this whole pack in the exact same shot.
6 laps of racing to go from Talladega, gentlemen.
Oh, boy. I don't think we're done wrecking. That outside lane is really squirrely. It's currently being led by the 38 of Chad Coleman, the 15 of Seth Foddy, and the 10 of Richard Beasley. And here comes the run.
Here it comes down the back straightaway. They go into turn number 3.
Oh, they stalled out on that outside. Here comes the inside. Idra O'Rourke, Mojica, Fury.
If they can get going again, and the next thing that you really got to watch for is your temperatures as a driver here. You really got to watch them here. We're not quite at that point where you can push with no return and not give a crap. You really got to wait till about 2 or 3 laps to go before you can push consistently, no matter what the temps, and you'll make it to the end of the race.
The only thing
Yeah, that outside line is really starting to fall apart here, Mike.
Yeah,
Oh,
the only
speaking
thing
of that, there goes Tommy Ryan to that outside. Sorry, Mike.
No, I was going to say he made up the move to the outside line, and that flagman only held up 5 fingers left.
5 laps to go.
If I was anybody near this front, I was like, 5? Really? There's...
Woo! Here comes the 24 right there, making a move to the outside. That outside line starting to gain a little bit of momentum again, because it breaks down the middle lane. So anybody that goes up to that top side likely coming from the middle lane. So it just takes a little bit of power from them. Here comes the 58. He's getting a solid push from Jeff Ryan right here. Look at the 96 mixing it up in here with these guys.
He's got Hayes Booth pushing him in the 5.
Yeah, Hayes Booth pushing him right there. Everybody's just minding their business.
For now.
For now. I mean, it's like a ticking time bomb. We got 4 laps to go here. When's the grenade going to explode?
Oh, fishtailing in that inside lane. I thought Livingston was about to get bumped by Booth and send it right into that bottom lane. Unwillingly.
Oh, here
Hayes
comes
just
Booth.
went
He's gonna
4 wide.
make it 4 wide.
What a move to
4
make this 4
wide at
wide.
Talladega. We can do it. Oh,
Hang on
17's
to it.
loose. No caution.
He
He's
saved
able to
it.
gather it back up. He's going to save it. 42 is going to be able to get around in here. Here we come. Back to the front. Here's the 5. Hayes Booth really disrupted the energy in that pack in the middle lane. He's the 3rd truck in line in this middle lane right here. He's going for broke. He's here to spoil the party. Going to try to anyway.
Guys,
Here we go. Outside lane coming back again here, AJ.
I'm in awe right now with the 3-4 wide and just the battling from all 3 lanes. You know, is it gonna be O'Rourke, Mojica, or Macklin, or is it gonna be somebody else from behind him pushing him out of the way? You know that 5 really wants to get towards that front. It's his first race in the league, and right now he is really moving towards that front.
Well, I think we're really going to see a lot more aggressive driving here as we got 2 laps to go from Talladega.
Dual popsicle sticks.
This is setting up to be an all-time classic finish.
Yeah, we've got a really good finish on our hands here.
Mojica to the
I think
inside.
Oh, the 24 trying to make a block there. See if it pays off for him. Mojica.
Oh, here comes
Go to
Booth,
the
4
middle.
wide.
Here comes Booth to the middle, 4 wide.
He's got
The middle
Donaldson.
of the middle. Oh, they can't
there he
make it.
goes.
Nope,
No.
that's not going to work.
The
Caution.
yellow flag is out.
Oh, and we have the big one with 2 laps remaining. Wow, guys. I thought we were going to make it, but unfortunately we did not.
Well, it doesn't matter how long you could push because it's going to be a green-white checker. Let's take a look at this move here, AJ. Hayes Booth, shoot in the middle here. There he goes. Almost made it work, but everybody was just nervous. Here comes Wes Donaldson. Just a block there by Pedro, and it's just on from there.
I think when Wesley bumped him, it just sent that 5 a little squirrely and it just collected everybody.
Yeah, just kind of collected everybody, and with Pedro pulling that block a little bit, it's like Hayes couldn't really go anywhere and couldn't really give himself a chance to push him square because he was getting a push from behind. And that's one of the risks you run here at Talladega like that. Making those blocks is, you know, somebody else pushing somebody, and that can be the result there. A big, nasty wreck.
Insane. We're a half a lap away till we made it official on that white flag lap.
We got Nate in the chat wanting some more cockpit views of that wreck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anything for you, sir. Who you guys want to? Who you guys want to see cockpit view for?
Let's take a look at the 5. Why not?
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
want to see the movie made because that was a good move. I can't say it was a bad move, but let's take a look here from the exit of 2 here. Let's take a look at the inside of that 5 truck.
I think what did it is when he got bumped, but here it is.
Yeah, we'll have to get on board of that 91 as well. A couple hard hits for Hayes right here in the 5. Good thing it's virtual racing and not the real deal.
On the board with Livingston right now.
Here we go. This will be a good shot.
This is a hard hit.
Oh. He might. Oh, he almost.
He got pile drive from
He
behind.
did get pile driven there a couple times.
I think he had it missed, or he was gonna like.
He was
miss it,
going to
but-
get minor damage, and then everybody just kind of piled on in.
Well, I don't think it's minor damage anymore.
Nope, definitely not minor damage anymore. Gotta see the 10. Nate wants to see the 10 truck next.
The 10.
Richard Beasley.
Thank you. Whenever you guys give me a name, it makes it so much easier. It's a good way to kill time under caution.
Nate here and Mike Robinson going in the chat saying, not surprised, kind of surprised it didn't happen sooner. That was coming for the last 10
wow.
laps.
Beasley, what a move right there.
Little
I don't know how he
contact, but gonna stay in here.
Yeah, look at that. Everyone on concussion protocol after the race. Yeah, that's very true there, Scott. Everybody's on concussion protocol.
This is from Joe Hudson.
Ooh.
Oh, we're going
to
Jeff
go.
Ryan after this.
We're going who?
Jeff Ryan.
Does he get in the air?
Yeah.
He did.
All right, let's take a look. You still got your Ricky Bobby?
Nope. Got told to take that down.
Oh man.
And he gets a little airborne, doesn't flip. It's a little air action there. A little bit of Air Jordan.
Hi, Hamish.
Yeah, the fact that the fact that 10 truck, I think that is the most amazing move of the race. If we had an all-state good hands move, I think it would go to the 10.
Yeah, that would be my vote too, because that was pretty impressive.
Show the back end of the 10.
All right, we got it. Want to see the onboard of the 10 again. All right, well, let's take a look.
They said
He
the
wants to
rear.
see the rear camera.
The rear view. Okay, all right, let's take a rear view of the 10. Gets a bump.
Oh, that's an
There
engine.
it is. That's an engine. And just the chaos that develops behind him here. Woo!
Ooh, wow.
Clear!
Spotter in there's like, I don't know how you did it, but you're clear.
Oh, I need to collect myself. Sorry, that's too funny.
What I said?
No, you know who if you paid attention to the chat.
Yeah, the chat's going crazy right now.
Oh, look, somebody finally decided to show up. Oh, and Rambler decided to show up. Oh, Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, our chat is being taken over by a certain race team.
Oh, thank you, Joe, for making me laugh. I appreciate you there, bud.
And we're getting ready to go here, boys. The green white checkered is about to begin.
Take the wheel for the Jesus Saves truck. Well, yeah, it happens.
I didn't know Ty Gibbs was in this race.
Ooh. Yikes. Rob Steele's jokes confirmed. That's funny, yeah.
Well, Pace Truck is off. Macklin, Ryan, Mohico, O'Rourke, and Fury. All your top 5. And we are overtime bound. Green flag in the air.
1 or 2 attempts. Let's see what they could do here. It's going to get wild and crazy here. Watch for this 2 truck to probably go to the outside as soon as he can. As soon as he gets a run, he's probably going to make it happen here. We got Sean Macklin going for a win here. We got a couple of playoff drivers involved in this. Going to be an interesting race here. These last couple of laps, this finish here, going to be wild. Look at the 75. He's going to the outside. No help. No help at all for Stoney Benefield. He's going to fall back in line. Can you get this outside line going? That's another thing.
Only driver in this top 10, or only 2 drivers in this top 10 that the win basically does nothing for them in points is Sean Macklin in the 24, who's your race leader, and Bobby Wetzel currently in that 7th position as we are coming
Kelly
to the line. Are we going to make it?
We are going to make it. Race is official from here as they take the white flag. Whatever happens, happens. It's
here
the
we
Wild
go.
West.
And it's
But we're in the
presented
East.
by
It's Talladega.
Wrestling with Nerds, episodes out every Friday.
White flag. Oh, here comes the 41.
Award.
Here he goes to make the move. He goes bottom to top.
What a move. Here comes Tommy Ryan.
He's
he's gonna get turned.
Oh, the
He gets
wrecking.
wrecked.
Oh,
There's
here we
more wrecking. A lot of wrecks here. Who's going to make it to the finish?
He's
it looks
by
like
himself.
the 99 clears the wreck.
He is
the
by
99
himself.
has cleared the wreck.
Here comes Rivera. He's got Smithley pushing him.
I don't think it might be enough here. It is Talladega. That start finish line's all the way in turn 1.
He got turned.
He gets moved. Here comes the 22. Can he make it happen? The 12 is not on the lead lap.
Yes, he
Or
is.
maybe he is. I don't know.
He's on the lead lap. He's going to the
He's
outside.
going to make it happen. Look who finishes 3rd. Brian Wertman. What a finish.
Ow.
Nelson Rivera, Scott Sibley, Brian Wertman, Tommy Ryan, EJ O'Rourke, I believe, is going to be your top 5 there.
So, a lot happened on that last lap.
We
You
need
want
to
to break
see
it down
everything.
for us?
We need to see everything. Holy cow.
We are going back to that white flag.
Congrats to Nelson Rivera, by the way. What a win. What a finish at Talladega.
And here it is. Coming to the white flag right here. Basically,
well, it was a lorry
everybody
truck
wrecked.
that went to victory lane, just not Robert.
Jumping the Mike Kelly.
And here you go. He turns the 41 right there. Let's see what happens to the 99. Big crash involving here. 99 gets out of the wreckage first. Look at Brian Wertman shooting in the middle right there.
That was impressive.
We'll have to go back and watch that. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Go on cockpit here with the 74. Go to the cockpit here. I want you to take a look at this.
Did he
everybody.
just Tetris
Take a
it?
look at this 74 racing with Jesus here. Racing for souls, 74.
Jesus took the wheel.
He did take the
really
wheel.
took the wheel. Watch this. Shoots the middle.
Oh my
Shoots
goodness.
the middle. Here he
Oh,
goes.
wow.
Outside. Back upstairs. Takes his momentum. Now he's going to be able to get a really good view of the 99 here. What happens with Tommy Ryan.
And
Coming
Tommy
off
goes
of
up
turn
the
4.
block.
He knows the move's coming. He's going to block. He's going to get turned for blocking.
He saved it too. What a save right there.
He did save it, but it's there you go. That's what happened to Tommy Ryan right there. Try to pull a bad block. Bad blocks get you,
good
turned
for
around.
Good for Scott Simley. He was in our first caution of the evening.
Yeah, and comes back to finish second. That's a really good recovery there. Really good point stay.
Where is he? Outside the top 10 at the white flag?
He was. Both Wertman and Simley were outside the top 10, I believe, coming to the white flag.
I'm still, holy cow, I can't believe I saw what we saw.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it?
That was.
That's just, you know.
Robert
that's just
Fury, I know
Talladega.
he's got some fans in the chat watching. Unfortunately, 25th this evening.
Oh, he just got clipped by Beasley.
That should have been netcode too. But Nelson Rivera with the move. Yeah, there was no letting up for Tommy Ryan at all. Especially with Simley pushing the 22. Nelson Rivera, your winner this evening. Scott Simley in second. Brian Wertman in third. We're going to get your interviews here momentarily, but holy shnikes, Batman.
I got somebody else wanting to see the 99 block in the chat, too.
Thought we showed it.
Well, we did, but not on board. I guess if you wanted to go on board with Nelson Rivera, you could see the block here.
Yep, just give me a moment. We'll get it, and then we'll get your interviews. But guys, what a ending to an amazing race. Cockpit view. You could tell he's 100% mirror driving, and what a save.
That was.
Oh, even downshifts to try to save the car. Worked good, and he's going to come home in that fourth position. But guys, let's get to some interviews because I know that's exactly what the people are going to want. Gary, I'm going to give this one to you. It's our P3.
No, you take the winner. Oh, I'll take the P3. Sure.
Yeah,
It's
Brian.
P3. It's Brian Wertman.
All right, we're going third to first here tonight. Brian, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Oh, we're doing well, man. We don't get to talk to you much, so here you go. Best finish of the year for you coming out, of course, Talladega Superspeedway. Your strategy paid off. You hung out in the back all day and finished third. Talk about it.
First thing first, I want to know how I missed those two wrecks at the end. I missed that one, set up the green white checker and missed the one that come to the line. I can't believe it.
Yeah, you really did a good job there, avoiding all those accidents. Well, where do we go? Chicago, I guess.
Chicagoland.
Yeah, Chicago. We go to Chicagoland next week. Go back to a mile and a half. You've done okay at the mile and a half this year. A couple top 20 finishes. How do you feel about Chicagoland next week?
Chicago, I love Chicagoland. There was an Xfinity race there we had last year that I was leading top 5, and then next thing you know it, green white checkered at the end. I restarted third or fourth, finished 26th due to, well, my transmission did not want to go to second to third, so I had to went down to the apron, let everyone by. It was disappointing, but hopefully, I can finish up there in the top 5 because I've been doing good the last few days. I finished top 5 on one tonight and another top 5 on Sunday in the Sim500 King of the Hill series at Charlotte.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, any shout outs or thank yous you want to give to anybody as we let you go celebrate P3 here?
I want to thank everyone here at Sim500. Congrats to Nelson Rivera and Scott Simley for putting one heck of a show for first and second, and Joey for putting up a great league, and everyone here too,
Oh,
acting the race.
all right. Well, absolutely, Brian. Well, congratulations on your third place, and maybe we'll talk to you again next week in Chicago. We'll see. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that was P3 Brian Wertman. We're going to then take it to second place from first caution to damage to now on the lead lap and finishing second. It's the driver, the number 12, Scott Simley. Mike, take it away.
Scott, it's Mike, Gary, and AJ. You got us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, talk about your race tonight. You started 26th. You got involved in that first yellow a little bit, and then the craziness we saw on that green-white checker. Just talk about your race overall, and if you had a better move there, you thought at the end.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but that's what you get at this place. That first caution, I avoided it, but I didn't. I was thinking that caution was going to come out. Actually, it wasn't a caution, but it should have came out. And then lap 25, I got involved in that, and yeah, I got pretty good damage. My nose was punched in pretty hard, but anyway, got the lucky dog in the next one, and got back on the lead lap, and it was strong enough to stay in the draft, but I didn't know what I had, and just seas parted there at the end with all the wrecks going on, and I didn't know what to do that with Tommy and Nelson, and by the time I sucked up to Nelson, I lost vision of Tommy on which way he was gonna go. I figured he's probably gonna block, but I couldn't see his truck anymore, and just kind of was gonna go on the outside of Nelson, and we just got by Tommy and just didn't have quite enough at the end to get by Nelson, but it's still a lot of fun, crazy.
Well, man, as we shift next week to the next race in the round of 18 at Chicagoland Speedway, getting a P2 here tonight would be a good points finish because I saw you entered 3 points above the cut line. So, kind of give us a thought of Chicagoland as the second race in the playoffs next week.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to me as far as Chicago. I used to be pretty good at it, but I can't get it. Seems like anymore. But we got a good start to this chase, so we're gonna take that momentum, move forward. Hopefully, we get a good finish next week.
Well, man, before we let you get out of here to celebrate your P2 finish, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Thank you guys for broadcasting. Sim 500 teammates in turn one. Steve, he had some bad luck, and Mike and Seth. So fun to work as a team, and hats off to those guys for helping out.
Well, Scott, congratulations again on your P2 finish, and maybe we'll get to talk to you again next week in Chicago.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that's the driver, the number 12, finishing second here tonight, Scott Simley. But to the move of the night, we're going to talk to the number 22. Let's get him in here. It's Nelson Rivera winning here tonight at Talladega. Nelson, you got a copy, pal?
I got you. What the hell happened there?
Everybody wanted to go to the infield care center, apparently.
Oh my God. What in the... I'm still trying to catch my breath.
Well, you come out of turn 4 right behind Tommy Ryan, and he does a block, and you have nowhere to go outside of basically rear-ending him because you're getting pushed by Scott Simley, which gives you the lead coming to the line. Talk about that last lap and basically coming back to that start-finish line.
My truck had damage from the first yellow, 2.5 minutes, and it took me about 3 yellows to get it fixed, or maybe 2 yellows to get it fixed. But the truck was decent, but it was slightly off the pace. So I just tried to stay in line with somebody. I actually tried to lead a lap with about 20 to go, and it didn't work. I didn't like clean air. So, I just conceded the fact that I'm going to finish somewhere behind somebody, hopefully in the top 10. And that was going to be a good night. That was acceptable for me. And not knowing that it was going to shake out the way it did. And when I saw Tommy by himself in 3 and 4, my eyes got so big that I did not want to lift. And I apologized to Tommy for basically running him over. I know Scott was behind me, he was pushing me, but I wasn't going to lift. I mean, this is my first Sim 500 win. I've been doing this for a few years, and yeah, I wanted that one for sure. And the timing is good too. Race 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your first Sim 500 win, and great job getting it in the playoffs. That's basically going to pole vault you further on in the playoffs with those bonus points and everything. But, dude, we go to Chicagoland next week. What's this 22 doing at Chicagoland? You going to be fast? What's your plan?
That's the plan. I mean, we'll see when we get there. I don't want to think ahead. I didn't even know next week was Chicago. It's one race at a time, and then on to the next one. And so I haven't thought about that. Hopefully, we're fast. I got 2 really good teammates, John Schweikart and Robert Friery. They're, I'm in good hands. Put it that way.
Well, before we let you go and celebrate your win here tonight, got any sponsors you want to plug?
Yep, LaRue, out of Canada. They're in industrial snow blowers. We're going to be needing those soon up here in the Northeast. And again, I want to thank John and Rob for their efforts, and we put our minds together and come up with a plan. And sometimes it works, and Talladega is just a crapshoot. I hate it for John. Got caught up in a couple of wrecks. One of them was with me, so I hate that. So just slight sour taste in my mouth. But we'll move on to Chicago and see what we can do. See if we can keep this rolling.
All right, dude. Once again, congratulations, pal, on your first win in the Sim 500 TranService Truck Series. We'll see you at Chicagoland next week.
Thanks, guys. Later.
All right, that's your race winner, Nelson Rivera. We're going to start with Mike Campigio. Mike, thoughts of the race, your overall opinion, and break it down, pal.
Well, I think we saw a fantastic Superspeedway race here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. Classic finish. Great racing all night long from start to finish. These guys were aggressive. We saw a few mistakes, but for the most part, they put on a great show, and I think all the fans at home enjoyed it. I know we did in the booth. So I'm looking forward to heading off to my home track next week at Chicagoland Speedway. A little plug there. But yeah, just overall fantastic night, and we will catch you next week.
All right, Gary Wells, what's your thoughts? And take her home, pal.
Yeah, I think we had a fantastic race. I'm a little bit speechless now here myself, seeing the top 5 shake out like it did. Great race. Really looking forward to Chicago next week. I think we're going to see a lot of good racing there. Multiple lines potentially. So I think we're in for a good show here next week.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what we're going to see at Chicagoland. It's one of my favorite tracks. It doesn't necessarily have a backstretch that is straight. It's completely curved, so that whole racetrack, you are turning the wheel. Very unique. Can't wait to bring you guys the action for the Sim 500 TranService Truck Series right here on All-Star 15 TV. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe. Go check out our merch store. All the breast cancer awareness merch you guys see is going to the Susan G. Komen Fund. Any proceeds from it. So please help out if you can and get some cool merch doing it. For Gary Wells, Mike Campigio, I'm AJ Capola. We'll see you guys on the next broadcast.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.